lot of you guys probably recognize that. This is Johnny Burgin with another Chicago Blues guitar lesson, and we're talking about one of my all-time favorite songs. And I can't believe we haven't done this yet. It's so important. I've actually done, I think, 4 Eddie Taylor lessons, and I've never just talked about his real bedrock style in the A position. So that's crazy, right? So we are in the A position. I am capoed at the 1st fret. So pitch-wise, it's in B flat. That matches the record. And I have a theory about that I'll get to. But anyway, this is all about the long A, as it's often called, like the 1-finger A chord here with your pinky out here. And then the D7th, I'm just pretending this is 0, okay? So yes, it's really a E flat 7th, but you know, I'm going to call it a D7th with your thumb on the 2nd fret of the low E string. And then the E7th, like this. Got to put my finger picks back on here. I don't know why I took them off. So that's your ingredients. Long A, A7th, D7th. You can have your 3rd finger off the E string and then back on. And then you might as well just use these 3 fingers, or you could use these 2 fingers in your pinky. And you have a 1st finger hammer on 1st fret of the G string. I said, everything is okay, Eddie. You're nothing but a big town playboy. So I guess that's as good as any place to start. This is the same thing that's in Cry for Me that Eddie Taylor plays, and all over the place. So it's not, you don't have this pentatonic. If for people who are looking to get out of, you know, this pentatonic box that they're in, and everything sounds like that, playing an A position, hey, it's going to sound really different, even if some of the notes are the same. And if you don't want to use finger picks, you're going to lose some of the flavor and some of the rhythmic tension that happens, but you can still use a pick. So this is, you got to slide up with your 3rd finger, 5th fret B string. So 5th fret B string, 3rd fret E string, 5th fret up. Yes, it's the 6th fret, but then you got to slide that 3rd finger down 2 frets. 1st fret B string. And he does a lot of pull-offs there that are really and he answers with that. This is like saying one thing and then answering. You could use your 1st fret up on the D string or 2nd fret. That's 2nd, open, 3rd A string, A. And then you got to grab it with an upstroke with your metal finger pick and a downstroke with your thumb. Bam! So, my baby told me this morning, just a good hard lump-de-lump. Now, I'm in Rhode Island right now, and I said, let's play a lump in E or whatever it was I said. And they're like, what? So that's a Chicago term, musical term, lump, or which is short for lump-de-lump. Lump-de-lump-de-lump. It's an onomatopoeic word. They call it a march, I was informed, or as they pronounced it, a mach. So, yeah, a mach. So anyway, a march, a lump. But that gets me to what I was going to say. They don't just do this. You hear this on the 4 especially. That really sounds like a march. That great early Chicago beat, you know. Right. Just go. So I did the one on the top. Said everything is okay, Eddie. And then you have your "You're nothing but a big town." And I often do this, but I'm really hearing that lump. I love that. Let's try that again. Yeah, starting to sound good now. So from the 4, march, lump. D7 with the F sharp, and then just go back to your lump. I like to do that. It's not just this, but that's fine. This is 3rd fret up, 4th fret up in the D string, and then you can reach out with your pinky if you want. That's so cool. That's you gotta, the trick is you gotta use your 2nd finger on this root a lot, so you can do this. Lightning Hopkins does this a lot too. Oops, anyway. So that's 1st finger and 3rd finger on the B string. Open G. Beautiful turnaround, huh? So simple. You just do that hammer on the G string. Okay, so that's kind of some of the nuts and bolts of the song. And now there's 2 solos. Aren't we lucky? We have 2 amazing solos. Kind of the same solos, but you know, he managed to refine his ideas as he went along. He always had the same ideas, but he never repeated it in the same way. He just internally renewed what he did. And it's so interesting to see his progression. So let's try the first one. The first one really exploits the finger picks. Just to show you what I mean, I'll try it without it. 13 and 14, E and B strings. That's okay. That's a pick. And so this is the top part of A minor shaped chord. This. Moved all the way up here. And then move it down 3 frets. 1, 2, 3. Then you're on 10 and 11 on the E and B strings. Then what do you have? You just have this D-shaped A chord, right? Like if you had taken this D, move it all the way. So that's pretty cool. And he uses that to open up both solos. He just has a different rhythmic attack. So the first one is, and then I can't tell if it's a downstroke or an upstroke, but I think it's an upstroke, that heavy metal on metal. And then he goes, and then the loud silence. Eddie Taylor is the king of the loud silences, the devastating silences. Like, yeah, I said it, you know. He really is probably the ultimate greatest, man. He really is. So anyway, and when you move it down 2 more frets, it becomes basically a 9th chord, a type of a 9th chord, like this pretty chord. That's in Tanya. I keep going back to that one. Yeah. Sounds really good with those upstrokes, doesn't it? And then we're on the 4. So he plays out of this position. This is a D7th shape, right? I mean, it's like an A7th from down here, but this is, you know, all the way up here to D7. He goes, in case you're wondering what that was, see how it fits into a D on the 4? It's the 8th fret and 6th fret. and then up to your 9th fret, and then notice it's the same kind of little shape like this. It looks like, I don't know what it looks like, a bracket. And then he sort of jumps ahead to the 5 before we're on the 5 to make it. That's the way he's telling a story this time, you know, to make it big when he goes to the 5, or just to make it cry. This is sliding up to the 5th fret up from the capo. Remember, we're talking up from the capo. So these are all notes that I went over earlier. And then over this sounds great over the 4. You can push this a little bit, tug it a little bit. Yeah. That is so tense. The da-da-da-da-da. You know, and I love his phrasing. It's so emotional, and it's so it's the music of hypertension, you know. I mean, he must have just been under incredible psychological pressure, you know, to play like that and to have that be his personality. You know, it's not easy going at all. It's like da 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 da. You know, it's just very it's very intense. So the second time, this is why I think he's using a capo. Besides, you know, he didn't just have the guitar tuned up, or it's not the record speed that puts it in B flat. Because he does this. He jumped over 1 fret off, 1 fret behind to the A, and I'm sure he was used to normally playing in actually A without the capo a lot more. Who knows? Maybe it was, you know, who knows why. So, and that tells you something really interesting. I'm talking about the second solo now. It means if you make a mistake, but the groove and the attack and the tone is good, because the groove is 10 out of 10. The attack is 11 out of 10. The tone is godly, you know. I mean, it's everything about it is tremendous. It's just the note is like off. It doesn't matter. The note is not so important as how you say it. So, meanwhile, if the note is right, but none of those other things are any good, you don't have jack. So, hard lessons. Those are the lessons you learn the hard way. But anyway, when the feeling is right, you're a fret off, whatever. Doesn't matter. So he goes. So he started out at 12 and 13. And it's like, oh, that was wrong. And then he goes right back up 1 fret down here, and he's right. And then he does the same kind of thing. He goes to here. I forget exactly how he does. And then he does something amazing, which is pretty tricky. The best thing is to don't psych yourself out if you're using a thumb pick. It's hard to do up and down picking with a thumb pick, but that's exactly what he does. He did not do this. He didn't chicken pick it or whatever. I mean, I don't even know if that's possible, or barely. I don't. It's not possible for me. He just relaxed and he goes. I tried to relax a little bit, and I grabbed it like this. I have no idea how Eddie really did this. Help, guys. Let me know, man, if I'm wrong or something. Tell me, okay? Because there's a lot of people out there who saw Eddie Taylor who might be watching this, and I did not have that benefit. So now I'm just picking up and down with my thumb pick. I'm getting the best of both worlds. I can pick up and down, and I still have the power and the balls of the thumb and finger pick. And then I went right back to do-ga-do-ga-do, the down-up thing. It's something like that he goes. This is kind of like out of a 4 chord. And then he plays this F sharp note that really sticks out in a cool way. Back to that, sliding into the open E string and the E note or the, you know what I mean, the 5 note on the B string. And then now we're to the point where last time he did this. This time he refines that idea and makes it even tenser, playing a rhythm against that. He plays a rhythm against it. Do like that. So that's playing one rhythm against another one, which is like what he did at the beginning of the first solo. That's like one rhythm against a more easygoing rhythm. He did the same thing at the end of the second solo. That's another one. Da, 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 da. That's, wow. So I hope I didn't go too fast, but that's basically in a nutshell the 2 solos in this tune, Big Town Playboy. I guess this was his hit from 1955. What a great song. I got inspired to do this when I was just sitting at home, and I listened to the whole VJ thing and then to the Bad Boy on the 70s the 80s record that I love so much on Wolf. That's one of his best records too. I would just go slow, try it out, you know. You don't have to do that. It's not on the record, actually. I'm playing too much. Nice, comfortable downstroke. There's the march, or correction. Loud silence. That didn't go there. That happened a little bit earlier, but I'm just sort of recapping what I did a little bit, and it came out the way it came out. But give yourself time to get it, slow it down, and have fun. You know, I know I've asked for these Eddie Taylor stories, but I never tire of them. I always I think about him a lot and what he must have been like, and I listen to his music. I keep going back to it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson. Join me on Patreon for weekly guitar chats. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hope to see you out on the road. I'm touring a lot this year, and thanks for being here. See you next time.